to the Investing Podcast, presented by Tusk Media. For a quick audio and video check-in on the stock market, here's the Stock Market Power Lunch.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Investing Podcast, presented as always by Tusk Media. We've got a brand new co-host with me today, this narwhal on top of the microphone. Pretty excited that he's here. I think he might fall off at some point, but when he does, we're just going to keep carrying on without him. We're going to talk about the markets in just a little bit, but make sure you hit that subscribe button. We live and die by those 5-star reviews. We got to have them. We run solely on ego fuel, so if you're not stoking that fire, we don't stand a chance. So make sure you're hitting those 5-star reviews, telling us what you think. We will basically read anything that you say on there. You've heard us read some really awful and awkward things, so go ahead and share some more awful and awkward things. We'll read them on the air. While you're at it, make sure you check out the interview I did with Matt Krebsbach. It was electric. It was alternative energy electric. We're talking about solar and wind powered because that's what we talked about. I think you guys will like it. We sat in this very room, talked about all kinds of stuff, had a good time with it. So I think you guys will like that. It's about an hour long, so it's pretty lengthy. You can kind of skip through everything he says and just get to my stuff if you want to hear the good points. So that's kind of what I would recommend. But no, we had a great time in all seriousness. So check that out. He's a portfolio analyst here at Narwhal Capital Management. We wouldn't have him here if he wasn't sharp. We wouldn't have him talking if he wasn't informative. So I think you guys will like that. Let's talk a little bit about the markets. Markets are up. Dow is up about 20 basis points. The S&P is up about 0.25%. That's 25 basis points. I like to switch you guys up on the math on these things to keep you guys on your toes. The NASDAQ is up just a little bit, up about 3 basis points. Global Dow up 26 basis points. Gold down 1.5%. Not surprising when you're seeing those equity indices rally. Oil, though, down 2%. So oil's kind of hovering below that $50 mark. If you remember back in, I guess it was the first day of this month, we talked about some predictions and things like that. And I thought that oil would close above that $50 per barrel mark for the month. We're getting late into the month, and it's pretty solidly under that. It's about 4% below that mark. So we'll find out if it can rally or get there. We'll keep watching that. As I told you guys in those predictions, though, I predicted that I would be wrong about them all. So that means really I was right about them all. So pretty impressive. Let's talk about a few individual stories. CarMax, ticker KMX, is down about 4% today. Used auto sales just really took a hit in the most recent reporting. So if you're a used auto retailer, which CarMax is, that's not going to be a good thing, especially when you're one of the nation's largest used auto retailers. So CarMax down about 4% despite the market being up. Let's talk a little bit about the Fed and Janet Yellen. She is testifying today. She does this periodically, where she basically gives her views in front of really, really important people. That's what you do when you testify. We'll spare you all the boring stuff, but let's get to what really matters here. Janet Yellen talking about interest rates, talking about the Brexit, which we've talked at length about. I refuse to say anything else about it on this episode. She says our cautious approach remains appropriate. So the real question out of that is, could Janet Yellen sound more like a mom? I don't know if it's possible. She's technically Fed chair. Sounds more like Fed mom. I'm expecting her to then warn people that were listening that nothing good happens after midnight. She's probably telling people that will listen right now in her very testimony that, hey, whatever you do reflects back on our last name. So Janet Yellen with some really solid mom insight out there. We're going to stay cautious because that's what's most appropriate. There you have it. Not a whole lot of groundbreaking news from her. Folks, if you want to break ground, you got to get your hands on one of these. Not talking about a copper flask. I'm talking about this koozie. Tweet at us, at Tusk Media LLC, a picture of you listening to the podcast. And I don't actually want a picture of you. I want the screenshot of your phone. Actually, a picture of you would be even better. We'll send you 2 koozies if it's a picture of you listening. Tweet at us and say, hey, I'm listening to this. We'll send you one of these bad boys in the mail. Narwhal Capital Management. You can see that similarity to my co-host right here on the back. Get ready for a whale of a time because narwhals are whales. Check that out. Tweet at us, hit subscribe, show some love. We'll be back in just a little bit with the Investing Happy Hour. Y'all have a great afternoon.
Tusk Media is a subsidiary of Narwhal Capital Management. Ratings and reviews of Tusk Media content are not to be construed as endorsements of opinions, analysis, or services offered by Tusk or its parent company. The opinions and predictions shared here are our professional beliefs at the time of publication. We are not under duress from any of the corporate entities mentioned. This is not a solicitation to take any particular action. Although we are investment advisors, this information should not be considered investment, legal, or tax advice. We strive to be as impartial, insightful, and accurate as possible. We base our opinions, analysis, and calculations on information we believe to be reliable, but we cannot guarantee its accuracy. We can, however, guarantee that our opinions will sometimes be flat out wrong due to a variety of factors. Employees and clients of Narwhal Capital Management may or may not hold positions in the securities detailed and may or may not hold these positions in the future. A full list of all securities purchased, sold, or held during the 12 months preceding the date of this publication can be provided upon request. Unless otherwise noted, all data accessed via MarketWatch or the Bloomberg terminal. Past performance does not guarantee future results. A copy of Narwhal's Form ADV is available at the SEC's website, www.advisorinfo.sec.gov, or from Narwhal upon written request.